I'd expect that from Boston, yeah. But no, grew up a Yankees fan. Games were on a regular basis, and got a chance to follow, different players like Reggie Jackson and Ron Guidry and guys like that. But it was really bonding time for me and my dad. I always remember as a kid, like the Saturday game of the week used to be on NBC, and the routine was we'd order a pizza. Dad would have the 21 and older beverage. I would have like my red or purple Kool-Aid, even though there's flavors, you only recognize them by the colors, red or purple. But we just look at the game, talk the game, strategy, and even with the interview I had earlier this month on WXII, it's like, that's how I learned how to do math. Like, you think about batting average. That's what the number of hits on the top of the fraction compared to the number of times you're at bat. That's how I learned how to do ratios, proportions, percentages. So it was part bonding, part I really liked the game, but also learned some stuff from it too.
So I'm hearing all of that. So this is something that may have been in you before you even knew that you wanted to really dive into it and write a book. So I guess my next question would be, why did you choose minor?
That's another good question, Meyerly. I think for me, a lot of times we talk about like those diamonds in the rough or those hidden jewels, and a lot of times people look at the bigger stage lights, but not realizing you got to work your way up there. And it's one of the proverbial, we see people where they are, but we don't know what they have to work in order to get there. So through the lens of baseball, minor league ball is where you learn and where a lot of players get filtered out, to be honest with you. And especially in the Southeast, there's a rich history of minor league ball here. And even digging a little bit deeper, and I talked about a little bit, the Negro leagues, deeply embedded in the Southeast. But when you think about people that you follow today, it's like, where did they get their start? They got their start in places like right down the street in Winston, or Greensboro, or Durham, or other spaces and places throughout the Southeast. So for me, it's like, if I get a chance to catch these guys before everybody else catches on to them, that would be pretty cool. So it really all started in 2019. I covered other like college and pro sports. I'm like, let me just go ahead and see if I can get my feet in for minor league ball. And where I live in Gwinnett County, the top minor league affiliate of the Atlanta Braves, the Gwinnett Stripers, is right there in my county. So it's like going from one end to the other. So once I got everything together to where I could do that, now all of a sudden it's like, wait, let me see if I can duplicate it in other spaces. And it's like I was talking before the number of people got here, there's a lot of neat places in the Southeast to go. There's a lot of whatever history, arts, culture, whatever. There's a lot of stuff to do in the Southeast. So this can be my vehicle to tap into all these other different places. So to be able to go to a Chattanooga, to go to Birmingham, to go to Jackson, Mississippi, Greensboro, Greenville, and that's just a smaller sampling of all the minor league teams that are out here that maybe, as I'm rediscovering this, other people, whether you're fans of the game, fans of team building, fans of sports, or just something different to do. That was really my motivation. Kind of like, all right, let me go ahead and coverage-wise see what I'm able to do. But there's an interesting story because the book almost never got written, to be honest with you.
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah, so here's what happened. So I covered 2019 all over the Southeast. September 2019, fly back to Jersey to visit my folks. It was my high school reunion, and I already paid my money to, how reunions go, to get your ticket, get your food, all that type of stuff. I almost didn't go. My mom and dad were like, look, you paid your money, why don't you go? So I ended up going. I'm like, I'll just show my face, an hour and a half, be out. Well, it didn't work that way. I was at like 3.5 hours. But what ended up happening is one of my classmates was like, so Andrew, when's your book on baseball coming out? And I looked at him like a deer in headlights, like, you actually read my articles? Like, yeah, when's your book coming out? And I was like, I kind of like used creative license. Oh, it'll be coming out in the spring. and I hadn't even gotten started. But really, it came from, like, you know, you never know who's paying attention to you. I know people get worried about the numbers and all, but you never know who's paying attention to you. If I hadn't shown up at my high school reunion, I would have never been posed a question. And if that question hadn't been asked, this might not have ever happened. So after getting that divine intervention reminder, like this needs to be my third book, I had the great idea of having it ready by spring training of 2020. But as people know, 2020, the world was a little bit different. Ever so different. You know, you can only do so many things. So I was able to get this out during the summer of 2020, but yeah, like really, all it was supposed to be was just, here's an article series, that's it. I never really intended for it to be a book, and it just happened that someone put that question and was more so, all right, you've got all this content, do something with it. And so yeah, that's how it happened, and that's why I'm here today talking with y'all.